Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Joey here with Turtle Labs. On this episode, I revisit our MST RMX 2.0 kit with some upgrades. Let's get right into it. Since filming our first RC drift video, we've switched to a carpet track, which keeps our cars much cleaner and keeps the dust at bay in our shop. The cars drift much smoother, but my original setup got real hot due to the added friction. We ended up installing a $60 carbon fiber chassis kit, but it was more for aesthetics, but in the end, we did save about 2 ounces. With the carbon lower deck installed, it's already pretty stiff, even without the backbone installed yet. We ended up upgrading to a Hobby Wing XR10 Pro Stock Spec ESC for boost and turbo functionality. You can see how small it is compared to the original 10 BL60 ESC. Initially, we kept the just stock 13.5 turn motor installed just to see how it would react with the boost and turbo. It really woke the motor up, but it ran just as hot even with the cooling fan and heatsink installed. We swapped the motor mount for the upgraded MST model with fins for added rigidity and extra passive cooling. To give it a little contrast, we sanded the peaks of the heatsink for added effect. To provide the motor with some extra cooling, we added a heatsink to the motor with a cooling fan and a fan inlet kit because they look cool, but I doubt they do really anything for actual performance. Halfway through the build, we decided to add a Power HD D12 servo just to spruce things up. As it turns out, it's much snappier and gives much more precise control over the chassis during a drift session. With that said, the Power HD R12 wasn't bad either. In our initial build, we swapped out servos while trying to find a fit with our Power HD G1 gyro. In the process, we stripped out the plastic servo mounts, so we went ahead and got some red aluminum ones to replace them. The stock MST RMX shocks leave a little to be desired, so we opted for a set of Racing QUTUS? I don't know. I think it stands for Quick Tuning Shocks or something. Okay, these shocks are pretty awesome. With a twist of a shock rod end, a variable piston that's installed changes the number of holes in the piston, allowing for adjustable damping of the shock without disassembly. That's pretty f***ing awesome. Alright, to summarize this video, since the last video, I ended up roasting a rear differential, so I installed a new ball differential, which also included aluminum outdrives and new differential gears. If I roast it again, I'm just going to go ahead and switch to the new spur style gear housing that they offer on the new units. I also ended up mounting the motor up high, and I feel like this helped a lot with transitioning, but I'm still kind of new to this. With all these upgrades installed at one time, the car drives much different, as you may suspect. It's much snappier thanks to the higher wheel speed of the 10.5 turn motor, and I've also tuned the ESC boost and turbo to 20%, and it gives just enough boost to kick the rear end out on a quick transition or a long sweeping turn, just in case I didn't get it right initially. The motor is sitting at about 30 degrees advanced timing as it was out of the box. The Power HD D12 servo is much faster than the R12 servo, but again, the R12 wasn't bad. I ended up shaving about 2 ounces off with the carbon chassis, but all I really cared about was the aesthetics anyway. But I'm kind of curious how it'll react by removing the backbone, so I might do that in the future. Now we just needed a little tuning and really dial this chassis in, but I think other than aesthetics, I don't see why I'd really change anything with this setup right now. I really do love the way it drives, and it looks much better too. Next up will be a body for this thing, which will be based off of one of the cars featured on this channel. It might be a BMW. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you back soon. Oh, real quick before you go, if you were at all curious about what I was building this car on, this is one of our field benches, which we make and sell at Turtle Labs. It really is the perfect tool for someone who needs an organized workspace, but also needs to be able to put it away in between sessions. It's large enough to hold all your projects with all the tools and parts associated with it, and allows you to bring it with you to the park, trail, or the track. I'll make sure and post a link for them below. Make sure and check them out. And thank you again so much for watching this video. And I'll see you next time.